it's Sandra Pike from Royal Page Atlantic and the Pike Group, and we are back in Halifax again today, and we are talking from agents across the country just about what's happening in their market, especially now that it's changed. We have some new rates, and today we move from Ontario right down to New Brunswick. And Dwayne, you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. My name's Dwayne Snell with the Snell Group here in St. John and surrounding area. I've been in the business for 5.5 years, and we have a team of 8 agents and 3 admin, and things are moving along pretty good.
Good for you. And I can't believe it's only been 5 years. It seems like forever that I've known you.
I know. Time flies.
So talk to me about the market in St. John, because we're always seeing it down here, on the news, how your market is so explosive. Is that still the same?
It's softened. It has softened some for sure. We were, and there's some key areas in St. John and surrounding area that really seen a big impact. Our rural areas that typically could be a little soft had become very strong. But right now what we're seeing is we are seeing a shift in the market. It's the rural areas are just taking a little bit longer to sell. Instead of selling in 2 or 3 days, it's might be taking 2 or 3 weeks. And there's some key pockets in St. John and Milledgeville, Quispam, Rossay, Hampton. There's some key areas that are still seeing multiple offers. And it just may not be up against 30 or 40.
Gotcha. So I would say there's been a big shift in our market here, who our buyers are now. When you're getting offers across your desk, or if you are writing offers, where are your buyers coming from? Are they local? Are they from away? Who's the biggest audience?
A lot of them are from away. We are getting a lot of people from Ontario, as you probably heard on the news, and a lot of places in New Brunswick are seeing. But we are still getting a good portion of people locally too, because they are selling. They're moving into either new builds and other properties. But the majority, we're really seeing a lot of people coming from Ontario and that sort of thing.
Interesting. So what's the average price point there now?
A little over 300,000.
Oh God, I mean,
Yeah,
that's an incredible market.
yeah. And
So
just
would you say if a house had sold, let's say, if a house sold $50,000 over asking during the pandemic, would that same house now sell $50,000 over asking?
I think it's become a little more conservative than that, where there's less people in multiple offer situations in those key areas, depending on the pricing strategy that the home sellers had gone with that particular time. But we're seeing, people getting offers accepted at asking and maybe a little over asking, but in some key areas they may have to be a little bit stronger in their offer. But 25 or 30,000 might not be out of the question right now.
Oh, wow. So what would you be, actually, you know what, what's really funny in our market, I would tell you back in February, I believe, we were about 100,000 over asking. And in June, we were on average only $52,000 over asking. So the market had changed dramatically. What are you saying to your sellers now when you're getting ready to list? Are you still using the same spiel that we would have used, in 2021? What
No,
pitch has changed for you, or has it really changed?
it has changed a little bit. We're really kind of preparing them for not worst case scenario, but just letting them know about the market, how it has softened some, but just being realistic in areas as far as pricing strategy needs to be a little more on point, a little bit more detailed, and coming up with a strategy of time frame needs to be a little bit more realistic, I think, right now. And I think also their preparation on getting the home prepared, curb appeal, the finer details in the home, just being better prepared for the listing, for photos and video and that sort of thing, is even more important now than it ever has.
And why is that, you think? Or has the buyer mentality changed?
There's less competition. We're now starting to see people put inspection clauses in their offers. They're just kind of getting back to, where we were maybe a couple years ago, by setting their agreements up to, I guess, better represent the buyer. So I think
Mhm.
as a seller, we just need to make sure we're better prepared and have everything up front. Where before the buyers would come in and they really would be just, wiping everything clean, keeping a clean offer, and just going forward with it. And the sellers really never had to worry about a whole lot.
Yeah, it's changed. I talked to a couple of agents this morning and I said, welcome 2019.
Yeah,
We're right back. So our market, we're still in a seller's market, but it's a buyer market mentality.
yeah, exactly.
And that's probably exactly, yeah, that's what you're
That's what
seeing as
we're seeing.
well.
Yeah, that's what we're seeing exactly.
I remember like listing, yeah, and I'm speaking to a seller and I'm like, so with our list price, expect to receive at least, 97% of asking. And then you quickly, did that pivot in, let's say, May of 2020. So how much money do you want to get? So you want to get $100,000 over asking. This is where we should list. And will those days come back, you think?
Yeah, I find it hard. I don't think right now. I think we're kind of, before 2020, we're kind of going up on the upslope and then we hit the top. And I think it's just kind of coming back down. So I think we're kind of going back to where we were on that upslope. And I think we just need to kind of go back to some of those strategies. I still think as if we're working with a buyer, we still need to make sure that we're bringing letters from the buyer to the seller. I think we need to do everything we were taught to do to put our buyers in position. But I think it'll be, we're at a point too where the buyers will have, they do have more to choose from now. And they're just not competing for that one house like 30 or 40 other people are.
Absolutely. Now, this is totally off topic, but on topic. So, in our market, I would say, I don't know how many agents would have joined in 2021, but I've been counting 2022. And, we've had about 218 new agents come to the market in 2022 here in Halifax. What advice? I mean, so you've been in the market or been in real estate now for 5 years. So you've been in the buyer's market with probably, maybe 9 months of
Yeah.
inventory. Then you went down to one, and now we're creeping back up again. You have a team of 8. What advice are you giving to your agents to succeed in this market? And I know I didn't prepare you for this at all,
No,
but
that's okay.
given you have a team, I'm sure this is conversations you have all the
Yeah,
time.
we do. We meet weekly and we talk strategy all the time, and really kind of what's best for our clients. And we're always talking about putting our buyers in position. And let's say we don't win the bid. We line everything up. We always try to structure our agreements and protect our clients, but also get them in position. So we'll still go in with a letter from the buyer to the seller. We'll try to get a finance
Mhm.
pre-approval letter. We try to do all those things. We don't take any shortcuts. We set our clients, our buyers' expectations right up front with that. And then what we do is if we don't win the bid and we can go into backup, we try to get every backup possible because we can still continue looking, but have our people in position. And I think that's really great advice for any buyer's agents or anybody working with buyers. Just think about all the time getting your people in position. And we have, and don't get lazy with it. Just keep digging and keep working,
Mm.
and don't get lazy. Get your people in position, and that has helped us in 2021 and 2022. I can't tell you how many times, and we still talk about it today. So
Yeah, no, I like that. Get in position. And, we would have done that on a consistent basis in 2021, right up to spring of 2022.
yeah,
And now, so I predominantly do more listings. I don't see letters coming across my desk anymore. I don't see, people wanting to be in a backup position anymore. I haven't seen that in quite some time, actually, here in our market.
yeah, that's the same as me. I do majority of listings, probably 90% listings, and so I have a hard I'm not seeing it as often as I did before, but I think that's just possibly agents or people just getting a little lazy. I don't know if I want to use that word really. I mean, I know I said it, but I really think that they're just kind of winging it. Probably everybody's getting tired and stuff like that. So I think it's an opportunity for us and our team to really just continue to push forward and be strong and just get all the work done.
No, you know what? I like that. Get in position
Yeah.
because you don't know. People's buying power it has changed, right, since the new rate. So maybe someone who was approved didn't really go back in to check with their mortgage broker before they wrote an offer to see now what's happening, or the agent didn't have the didn't think to go check that either. So I was just in a deal. I was on the buy side, and we did 5 days for conditions, but we couldn't get an appraiser in quick enough,
Right.
and the seller, I was surprised, especially given this market, wouldn't accept an extension for the appraiser to come in. And so, I mean, that would be totally out of our
Yeah.
control. And I think I would have told my seller, you know what, given the market, if we don't firm with these guys on August the 5th, you could be waiting till August the 20th to firm with another deal. So would you say, are some of your sellers that you're seeing like, I was surprised with the impatience of the seller here.
Yeah.
Is that happening in your market? Because this is the first time that I've seen it this year.
Yeah.
Does that happen with you at all?
I think, I think the sellers are, and they look at that point that you just made, where do we really want to start over? I mean, we just need a little bit more time. I certainly suggest to our people that, hey, look, you know what? We always set the expectation that, hey, they may need a little bit more time due to the banks and appraisers because they're backed up. They had a busy couple of years. And so we kind of set that expectation just in case it does come up. And a lot of times on our side, the people that we're working with, we do see them give the time. A lot of our team that are working with a lot of buyers, they're finding the same thing, that, if it boils down to just a few more days or a couple or 3 more days, the sellers seem to be flexible with that and just kind of keep things rolling along.
And I think it is good for a seller to be flexible, especially now, because again, and I've talked about our buyers here and the market. We're going back to 2019, where buyers don't really have a sense of urgency because they're not competing with the perfect storm that we had here in 2021. 2 years of military, interprovincial moving, people moving back home because now they can, and the workplace environment has changed. So that pool of buyer is gone, and we're just left with most of, I can't even begin to give a percentage of what the local buyers are, but that's who I'm seeing coming across my desk. And I definitely, I think, would have convinced my seller at that point. We've only been tied up for 5 days. They're just asking for another 4. Why start that process over again,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah. Well, Dwayne, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, either about work or our teams or whatever. And, we should catch up probably again next month and just see what, how the fall market is happening and what's going on there in New Brunswick.
Yeah, I would love to.
Awesome.